Alright, so I'm going to review the Howling II, Your Sister is a Werewolf, also known originally as Howling II, Stirba Werewolf Bitch. I actually think that's a more appropriate title because if you're going into this movie for a serious sequel from the original Howling, you'll find this to be a bitch of a disappointment. Alright, the excuse me, plot of this movie involves Chris Brown, the brother of the deceased Karen Brown from the original movie, is attending his sister's funeral, and Christopher Lee shows up as this guy named Stefan Krasko. He's a Eastern European occult expert who has come there to actually put his sister's undead body to rest because, in fact, the silver bullets that she was shot with at the end of the movie don't work on her. Actually, what that is once the silver is removed from her, they can still come back. But it takes, as he says, titanium to kill a werewolf. I know that's a horrible Christopher Lee impression, but just go with it. And he shows up to tell Chris and Chris's girlfriend about this beforehand. Or his name might have been, what was it? Ben White. Ben White, excuse me, I don't know why the fuck I said Chris. Ben White is the hero. Ben and his girlfriend are told by Christopher Lee, shown a videotape of his sister's transformation and execution, and now he's going to lay her to rest truly. Ben decides to follow her in order to put a stop to him desecrating his sister's grave, but then when all these fucking werewolves show up, he's convinced. Krasko puts the stake through Karen's body as well as a few other werewolves to show up and invites them to come along to Transylvania to stop Stirba, the werewolf queen, who's like this 10,000-year-old witch in a ways, and she's also a werewolf. Like, and this is where the movie gets really crazy. Sybil Danning plays Stirba once she, because like she starts out as this decrepit old hag, and then they have like this huge satanic ceremony that looks like an S&M trip, as well as a bunch of bestiality lovers. And there are tons of orgy scenes in here too. Hag Stirba goes, sucks the life out of a virgin. She gets her beauty back. And there's basically just a lot of sex scenes and terrible acting from this point on. This movie also has Marsha Hunt in it, who is a well-known actress in some films, but she's mainly known as being an old squeeze from Mick Jagger back with his days in the Rolling Stones. This movie, quite honestly, is just god-awful. If I had to compare it to anything, I would compare the original Howling to the original Highlander. This Howling 2 has loopholes out the ass. Now, it's not so bad to where it just comes out and says that werewolves are aliens from another planet or anything like that, but it's still pretty bad. We have some terrible dialogue in this movie. Really cheesy special effects, and that's one of the things I like about 80s movies, that has some really cheesy special effects in here, but even by those standards, these are terrible. There are a few good ones in here, but not that much. It plays out like a giant porn movie, which is not a bad thing in some ways, but it just gets grating on your nerves after a while if you walk in there with your intelligence and your brain switched on. You just best need to shut it down if you absolutely feel like you need to sit and watch this movie. We have possessed midgets. We have oh hell, we have a huge invasion of the castle, a huge climactic fight that all just looks terrible, but is probably one of the saving graces of the movie because it gets closer to the end. Really, in all honesty, the best I can absolutely recommend that you do is just avoid staying away from this movie at all costs. Unless you just absolutely want to see it, hey, that's on you. But just stay away from it. It's terrible. The only thing I can say about this, that it does have any kind of credibility, is that it actually plays out as a sequel, or one of the continued sequels to the original movie, because movies 3, 4, 5, and 6, and 7 are all completely disconnected from that. This is not a series, there were just several attempts at remakes afterwards. Strange thing about this movie, though, before I will review the third one, it has something that sets up that, like, if you kill the werewolf queen, basically all werewolves in the world are destroyed, or at least that's what I was supposed to walk away from this believing. But actually, there's a little setup of our heroes who do manage to get away, and they see something that kind of sets up for a third movie. But then the third movie goes and is its own thing and completely contradicts it from here. With the Howling 2 and here on out, all logic is just thrown right out the fucking window. Best thing to do is just sit back and enjoy it. There are a few good moments in here, some cheesy special effects. Also, any chances to see how many times that Sybil Danning can pop a top and let the girls out. And a really crazy music video at the end with a really annoying song by Babel that I can't really remember the name of, but it goes like, in the pale, pale light of the moon, some shit like that. Go check it out if you want to. If you got a brain in your head, though, I highly recommend that you stay away from this. Just watch the first one and ignore the rest of it.